Hi guys, welcome to this brand new YouTube channel, raw, uncut, and we're going to explore and dive deep into certain words that are going around the internet at the moment. Certain words that people are getting themselves so wrapped up in that they seem to be chasing something. What is it that you're chasing? What does wealth mean to you? What does success mean to you? What does freedom, financial freedom, and what does happiness mean to you? Let's dive in and break this down and look into it in a little bit more detail. Hi guys, welcome again. I'm Al Grant and I'm the founder of Creating Wealth Together. Now, having recently just quit the Western world to go in pursuit of what I am looking for in my own personal life, I couldn't help but keep continuously sort of tripping up, if you like, over the fact that everyone seems to be chasing something. Okay, now I've been in and around the online marketing arena for a considerable amount of time, and I suppose really I've been tickling everything rather than tackling it full on. Now, why is that? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. I've been pulled from pillar to post, and actually I'm sat here speaking to you now, and I don't even know or consider whether I'm worthy enough to have a YouTube channel. Well, I got my balls out of my handbag and I decided, what the heck? I've had a look around YouTube. There are people doing certain stuff, but what does it matter? What does it matter to you? What does it matter if you're aligned with me? I'm in line with you. All it is about in this world is about getting your message out to hopefully affect one person. If you can affect and influence, motivate and help more people, then fantastic. Now, as I said, I recently quit the Western world. I left the UK after spending a considerable amount of time in the British Army, and then not struggling, but sort of not finding my true purpose in life when I was back there. You know, had a job, got made redundant, had a partner, had a house, had everything in the house, had all the trappings of the Western world society. And enough was enough, because the end piece, or a large portion of the jigsaw puzzle, was still missing. Now, we all too often, every day, social media, do we see people pushing adverts in your face. We see people talking about these things such as, financial freedom and wealth and success and business, all these words. And I think all too often we're chasing something, or we're following other people unbeknown to exactly what it is that we want ourselves. Now, I'm currently sat here in Southeast Asia. Actually, I'm in the Philippines at the moment, but I'm sure as time goes on and the videos progress, we're going to be in different countries and we're going to be doing different things and talking about different subjects. Now, please, if you're a hater, a keyboard warrior, a troll, an arsehole, and you don't align with me, that's perfectly fine. That's life, okay? You carry on doing what you're doing. I'll carry on doing what I'm doing. All the best to what you're trying to achieve, and I'll keep pursuing and trying to help a few people, passing my knowledge on to those people that want to be helped themselves. See, I'm a true believer that you can't actually help people. Yep, I know that's disruptive, that's going against the grain. Many people have built their industries over helping others, helping people. You can't do it. You physically cannot do it. Ouch, you heard it here first, right? You cannot help another person, but you can help somebody help themselves. You see, when you form a tribe, when you get a community together, when you get a group of people, like-minded people, that are reaching out and asking for other people's advice, they're the people that are already taking the first step, and those are the people that are kind of already putting themselves forward then to say to you, look, I'm willing to help myself, please can you offer me tips, advice, and some of your expert knowledge in helping me try and achieve what I want to achieve. And all you can really do from that point onwards is map out things to be able to help them in pursuit of doing what they want to try and achieve. Now, we've all been to seminars. Well, I'd like to think that, you know, people listening to this, being that the topic is creating wealth together, the majority of you people have actually been to a seminar. Now, with seminars, you know, most of them you pay a high ticket price and you go in there to listen and learn from experts in any given niche or industry that you want to try and understand and learn from. Now, we all know that if you don't come away from that seminar and take action straight away, then obviously the procrastination sets in, and then you lose your direction, you lose your steam, you lose your power, you lose your energy, okay, and you slowly settle back into normal routine. Now, I'm over here trying to work it out, okay, and the reason I'm over here was because we all have dreams, okay. Now your dreams are going to be different to my dreams are different to your dreams, and you know, thankfully in this big, huge, vast, complex, fast world, we are all different. Now here's the thing, we all dream, that's a commonality between all of us, right? So when you work out where you want to end up, you've got to ask yourself, when are you going to actually achieve that? Because I see these people creating huge businesses, and it's all under the banner of making money online. You know, if you're not an online person, if you're yet to make money online, then we'll have more about that later on. Now I'm going to try and keep this introduction video relatively short, but it will be the longest video of any topic, because we're trying to get the sow the seed, trying to get the setting correct, and trying to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to give us a thumbs up. If you don't like what I'm saying, then just move on, guys. Life is that easy. We cannot and will not please everybody, okay, and nor will you. You see, I don't have all the answers, and nor do you, but collectively we can form a community, a tribe, where we can bounce off other people. Now if you go to creatingwealthtogether.com, at the moment, the time of making this video, that's going to direct straight to the Facebook group, okay? You can jump into the Facebook group, you can introduce yourself. There's a couple of videos there that kind of tease out of you what you think, what your perception and your idea of certain subjects are, certain topics. But ultimately, there's a thread there for you to introduce yourself, okay? Go to town. For the braver ones amongst you, create a video, much the same as what I'm doing at the moment. Now, I'm sat here on a swing, hence the reason why I'm swaying about a little bit. There's nobody about. There's a few crickets in the background. You can just hear the bird there. Yeah, I truly am what you would perceive to be in paradise, okay? There is a nice breeze about the air, and I'm sat here looking into the lens of the camera, one of the most scariest things I've ever had to do. Now I've already overcome my hurdle, and I'm not a professional actor. You know, I'm not used to this. Is not my given thing to do, is to get in front of the video, but quite clearly and evidently the advice is everybody should get on camera and make videos as quickly as possible. Video is king, okay? Whatever you do, you don't want to be dying with the music in you. You know, at the end of the day, your message, your one thing that you've got to say could help one person. And if everybody set out to help one person, then God, I'm sure the world will become a better place. Okay? So let's get back to the questions then. So what does wealth mean to you? Now, you know, we have, riches, we have, I'm wealthy, we have, you know, this, that, and the other. But here's the thing. None of that should matter to you, because your definition of wealth is different to my definition of wealth. Okay, now let's just talk about the term wealth. Everybody at the moment can be wealthy. Okay, you could be wealthy just listening to me at the moment. Okay, now you might have $1 million dollars, you might have $1 billion dollars, and you are, you know, in your own perception, you are wealthy, or to other people you are wealthy. But none of that matters. You see, you could be more wealthy with a lot less money, okay, and have achieved the other things that we're going to talk about throughout these series, such as happiness, you know, success, freedom, and all the rest of it. All these things that are kind of keeping us from doing what we need to be doing, okay? So I would put it into a couple of categories. Now you've got wealth, which is what anyone can have, right? You can be, there's 3 component parts, but there's more than that. It's whoever you're listening to, right? Now, any of you can make this up, all right? Just because somebody writes a book and says, and they're successful, and they say there's 7 component parts to life, then I can say, you know, there's 3 component parts to life, and it makes sense. Yeah, of course you could elongate it, you could stretch it out, but ultimately it comes down to these 3 things. Now, you've got your wealth, you've got your money, you've got your success, you've got your cash flow, you've got that, you know, coin, you've got the wonga, you've got the dollar, you've got the pound, you've got the money coming into your life, that money that gives you the ability to choose and spend and do what you want to do with that money. So that piece there is the first component part. Now, unfortunately, many people get so fixated on this, they're missing the show, okay? They're missing the journey, and they're missing the piece, the component part of life that I believe is why I've escaped the Western society 9-to-5 trap, okay, in order to come out here and, you know, have a little bit more freedom. Now, the second part is health. Okay, now some people say your health is your wealth, which is right. You only have to look at examples such as, and there's plenty of quotes going about, search it on Google, about what Steve Jobs, you know, talked about. You know, multi-billionaire, the biggest company in the world, or one of the biggest companies in the world, you know, and he could not buy his health. He could not buy that, okay? So your wealth could be your health. Now, you might be listening to me right this minute, and your health may be in a, so we say, not as good as what it should be. Now, the two component parts to health are your physical health, okay, and your mental health. Now, both of them come together because it starts inner, okay? The inner health and the inner understanding of yourselves and the workings out is what's imperative to actually be able to sort the outer part out. What do I mean? Well, if you feel happy, you know, if you're on a good diet, if you're on drinking lots of water, if you're keeping yourself physically moving, okay, now I'm not saying running around with large weights and, you know, doing damage to your heart and all your other internal organs. I'm saying if you're keeping yourself ticking over, and incidentally they say a 30-minute walk per day, you know, consistently can add another 7 years to your life. Okay, so what would that mean to you? Now, obviously there's a caveat. If you're listening to me now and you're 105, I'm not going to guarantee if you're going to walk every single day for 30 minutes, then you're going to add another 7 years to your life. But you get my humour and you get my direction I'm going at here. Ultimately, you know, the fitness industry, which is a separate video, is a huge industry, multi-billion pound industry, but it all comes down to a couple of pieces, okay? And those pieces are habit, okay? You must be able to identify your poor, bad habits and replace them with good habits, okay? The second thing then is your routine. Just physically getting up, getting motivated, getting over that doorstep in the morning, walking the dog, walking around the block, doing something, but doing it persistently and consistently, okay, and weaving it into the fabric of your newfound lifestyle, okay? And then we're talking about your mental health. Now, I've got a really strong view on this, a really strong view, and I don't want to upset the apple cart, and I don't want to move people away. But the question to you is there such a thing as true mental health issues? Okay, or I like to call them mental injuries. Right now, of course, you know, some of you are going to say yes, of course they are. Some of you are going to say, you know, I agree with you, whatever. That's just the way it is. But I'm putting it out there because, like I said to you, I do not have all the answers, nor do you, but we collectively can work it all out together. But here's the thought process behind my statement, okay? Most of this stuff, okay, all your named tags, going from strain, stress, anxiety, depression, clinical depression, you know, PTSD, and all the other pieces that are fixed in place, are all in place, are all governed and controlled by the medical and pharmaceutical industry. Fact. That's a fact, okay? When we were put on this earth, these things weren't around. And actually, over here in the East, and I've only been here now 3 months, but I would hazard a bet if I was to go out there into the jungle there and gather 5,000 people just to do a statistic review, okay, then most of these people are relatively happy and content with the lifestyle that they've got, okay? They eat naturally, they live more within their means, they don't have the strain and stress and pressure of what we do in the Western world, and generally they're happy. So the definition of happiness was having a look at, say, a bunch of children that didn't have an Xbox, didn't have a PlayStation, but they were happy, content with a stick and a bottle, right? Now, I knew that because they were smiling, right? They wanted to shake my hand, they wanted to speak to me, you know. I wouldn't get that in the Western world, okay? So that was my first discovery. So back on track to regards to mental injuries, and the reason they're mental injuries is because, like any injury, you can get better, okay? Now, big shout out to Tony Bingham for introducing me to that phrase. Because it's stuck with me ever since, and it's got me thinking. Because I would imagine if you're suffering from something, and coming from an ex-military background, you know, I hear all the time a lot of people with PTSD, people with depression, people with all these labels, And yes, of course, there are people with mental injury, mental conditional struggles, okay, because life may get on top of them. But when you start unearthing and unraveling some of this stuff, okay, you see that it isn't their mental condition, it's just life has got on top of them, and maybe, you know, a bit holistic. So maybe they got financial worries, maybe they're having relationship issues, you know, the kind of person, you know, married, 3 kids plus 2 girlfriends on the side, and other issues as well. Maybe it's a physical health thing that's affecting their mental health thing. Okay, so holistically, which isn't a word, should be in the dictionary, holistic, altogether, when you dive down deep, it's easy just to say, oh, I've got depression, or I've got this and that. But when you go into it in more detail, you find that there are other component parts that are contributing to this problem issue that people have got. Okay, that aside, that's a contentious subject. I'm glad I've got it out the way. I know there's going to be a backlash for it. I don't really care. It's my view, and it's definitely something to think about, because, you know, over the last maybe say 40, 50 years, okay, more of these words have started to appear, okay, more of these conditions have started to appear, and more people are relying on the pharmaceutical industry, antidepressants and drugs and all the rest of it, where, you know, holistic medicine gets a bad name for itself, but it's actually the holistic and natural remedies that actually seem to be doing more of good in countries like over here in Southeast Asia. Well, I've done a little bit of verbal research, asking around to see if people actually do struggle with these sort of things, and yeah, of course it's there, but it's not in abundance as what we're used to it in the Western world. Okay, so that's the health in broad brush. That's the health. I don't really want to visit this again. I just want to set the scene a little bit. When the membership site's up and running inside the community, we can open up some threads and we can talk about it and get your views for it, which are important, because collectively we're going on this journey together. Okay, so health, wealth, and the third one then is relationships. Now the relationship part, okay, always seems to be my wife, my kids, my friends, my colleagues, and actually we're missing the first component part. You've got to be in a position to have a relationship with yourself, right? You've got to learn to love yourself, okay? Now, it's not all woo-woo stuff. This is not all la-la stuff. This is not all out there, you know, spiritual type, you know, rubbing the crystals together, tapping the freaking pyramids and doing all this stuff, which obviously opens itself up to subjection, because normally those people that have never tried any of this stuff are the first ones there to give their view and their opinion on this sort of stuff. If you're struggling, okay, with this sort of stuff at the moment, and you haven't tried any of that stuff, holistic medicine, spiritual healing and that stuff, then, you know, go out and explore it, shall we say, in a little bit more detail. Okay, so the relationship you're having with yourself, right? Do you love yourself is the question, okay? Personally, I didn't know if I loved myself, okay? I didn't know, because I had the Western world wrapped around my throat, and I didn't have time to love myself. I was too busy helping other people. I was too busy supporting other people. I was too busy, you know, giving to other people, that I ultimately, you know, was forgetting about myself. Well, I mean, that sort of started maybe seriously about 5 years ago, when I decided to, you know, really get deep into personal development, really get into reading, really getting into going to seminars, really getting into joining and meeting up with like-minded people. And if you haven't started that journey yet, then that's the first place that you need to start. Now, of course, I can't tell you what to do, and there's no way of me of actually watching you doing this stuff. But actually, if you're in a relationship with somebody, now I'm not a divorce counsellor, okay, but if you're in a relationship with a partner and it's not going too well, and it hasn't been going too well, and you're constantly arguing and that, just get yourself away from the noise, okay, for a short period of time, and just ask yourself, is this what I want for the rest of my life, right? Now, whatever happens here, do not allow kids to come into this decision factor. Kids are so flexible, okay, and will adapt to any situation. You're their mother, you're their father, okay? You can work it out as two adults, okay? And you can set each other free in pursuit of loving yourself and trying to find out what it is that you want out of this short but very, very complex, noisy life that we all live in. The first test for this relationships is to sit down and make sure that you're on the same page. Make sure that you're aligned, okay? Now, it's quite easy. Sit on a couple of minutes, which is always a difficult thing because everyone's so busy. You know, most relationships, you're like passing ships in the night and you don't get time to communicate, which is the big downfall of most relationships, okay? Sit there opposite each other with a piece of paper, work out what you each want to do in isolation in the next 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan. I would recommend don't go any further than that. And then write down 10 things in the next 1 year, 3 years, and the 5 years, and then sit next to each other. Yeah, have a little kiss and a cuddle or whatever you want to do. But then see where you differ, okay? Because a lot of the times you're going off on complete different tangents. Now, just because he's written down, I want to go and watch such and such play football, I want to go and watch the Grand Prix, I want to do this, I want to go that, and you've written down I want to get my hair done, I want to get my nails done every week, I want to do this, does not mean in that instance that you're not aligned. I want you to sort of work on this and become more specific, something that you're striving towards, okay? And then what you do is you come and sit together and you say, well, what did you mean by that? So you're communicating. Right? This might take no longer than an hour. So you're communicating and you say, what did you mean by that? Well, what I actually mean is I want to make sure we go on holiday a little bit more regularly. We haven't been on holiday for 8 years and I think we should go on a holiday at least once a year. Yeah, I agree. So let's write down a new list now. Say, in the next year we want to work together to be able to go on holiday for that next year. So that becomes your now joint purpose together. And you work your way through the list and you come up with a set of common goals. Then you give yourself a period of time, okay? So that period of time might be say, look, let's have a really good stab at this. Let's see how we get on for 6 months or whatever. And then agree there and then. If you're still not aligned, the arguments are still in place and you're still not getting on, that you've already agreed as two adults to part company, okay? So we'll leave it at that. There's a lot more detail to go into reference relationships. The second one then is friends and family. Now, friends and family are a freaking nightmare, okay? Because you don't want to upset them, you don't want to hurt them, but they want to control you, okay? Ultimately, they want to control you. You've all got the nosy neighbour, you've all got the nosy friend, you've all got the family member that only phones you every so often because they want to know what you're up to, only got the friends that when you decline their invite out for a drink on a Saturday night, yeah, they're all talking about you. That's natural. If you're not in the crowd, if you're not in the herd, then they're talking about you, okay, because you do the same when one of them's missing from your night out, okay? It's just a natural human thing that happens. But with experience and time, then you don't care about what people are saying about you, okay? It doesn't matter. It's their problem, not yours. So you look at friends and family and you be very, very protective on your ideas and what you want to do, okay? Because family especially will always give you the advice that you weren't looking for, okay? Family people that may not have achieved and done what you're setting out to do are happy to give you their opinion and their advice, but it's worthless, okay? But they'll be there with you to collect the medals, right? Now, that's not being disingenuous to family members. We're trying to be generic here, and there's a lot of great supporting families. There's a lot of families that get involved with investments. I know my parents are constantly there, but you get people that are not aligned with you. So just be very protective on your ideas and what you want to do and who you share that with. Friends. Now, this is always a good one. I have 2 best friends. Well, that's a load of bollocks. You can't have 2 best friends. You can only have 1 best friend. One will always be preference over the other. So you have your bestie, okay? And that's the person that you've kind of been with the longest, yeah, I suppose, maybe. But friends come and go. You know that your friends you had 10 years ago when you were at uni or college or whatever you were doing, you maybe not the ones closest to you now, but you're happy to pick up a phone, all right? Now, we have a lot of military friends I've not spoken to in nearly 10 years, but we know when we meet up at a reunion or whatever, we're instantly realigned and we're away, and we're all there for each other, etc. Okay, but don't let that stop you. On the reversal of this, okay, don't concern yourself what your friends are doing, all right? Just because, oh, it's all right for them, she married him and he's got this and that. It's not your concern, okay? You're on your journey, okay? You're in your situation, your position at the moment. You're struggling at the moment. You're successful at the moment because of the choices and decisions you've made in the past, which have got you exactly where you are today, okay? And then you have the third component part, again, these subjects are very, very, condensed. We could talk all day about these, but this is not really the ethos of what creating wealth together is all about. So we're just going to broad brush cover them. And then you've got your work colleagues. Now, listen to what I'm saying. Work colleagues. Yes, over time they may have become associates, but they're probably not your friends. They're people that you go and work with. They're probably people that you share office banter with, but maybe go for a couple of drinks after work. Maybe in some instances, some cases, yeah, they have become your friend, your thing. But generally, they're work acquaintances. Okay, you meet in the same place to get the work done. Okay, you'll be surprised at how many people share their complete and open life with these people in the workplace. Now, your workplace is very, very sacred. Okay, very sacred, and you need to protect that. Okay, there's only two sacred places really, or three, which one we don't want to get to pretty quick, too soon. The first is your home. Okay, what happens in your home behind closed doors should stay there. Okay, the second place is your place of work, your place of employment. Okay, that place where you shouldn't drag all your shit from your personal life into your place of employment. It does not belong there. And likewise, your work colleagues, okay, are not there really to absorb your crap. They're there to do the work of the company that's paying them the money. And the third sacred place is obviously your grave, but we don't want to go there this time or any time real soon. Okay, so three component parts then. So you've got your wealth, you've got your money coming in, and you've got your health, which you've talked about, and you've got your relationships. Now, you can be a multi-billionaire, okay? And if you're listening to me, congratulations, please get in touch. We'll have a little chat. I've got some great ideas for you, okay? But you could have poor health, okay? And you could have, extramarital relationships, or you might be a complete asshole in work and a really shit boss. Okay, so you've got problems in different areas of your life. Yeah, you've got the money, the flash cars or whatever, but you're not happy. Okay, now you could be cash poor, okay, struggling to pay your bills, but appreciate the really basic things in life. Okay, your health is good, you're an avid runner, you're out there, you're tip-top condition. Okay, you've got a beautiful wife, you've got 3 lovely kids, everyone's doing well, but you wish you could have a little bit more. You're currently looking for a new job, okay, but you're struggling at the moment to find that balance. And then the other one then is you could be a complete tosser, okay, a complete arsehole towards men, complete arsehole towards women. You could have a little bit of cash in the bank, okay, and your health's okay. Okay, you live in okay land, right? You're just that kind of generic, mediocre, run-of-the-mill type people, which most of us sort of fit into that category in some variations. Now, the key issue here is not to start moving each area up, as quickly as possible. So all too often in the internet is, how do I make money online? No, it's not how I make money online. It's how do I help people, serve people, make money online? How do I help people get what they want to get? Okay, so most people are so fixated on this, I want to become a millionaire, right, without understanding that your happiness will probably kick in when you can get rid of your 9-to-5 job, and you could probably replace your $3 grand, $4 grand a month salary, if you're fortunate enough to be in that position, relatively quickly, so you can decouple yourself. But here's the thing, people won't, people don't, and people can't, right, because they're not strategically aligned with what it is that they're trying to achieve in their life, and they're scared, right? Packing a bag, giving away a house, giving away your house, giving away your car, giving away all your possessions, giving away everything that's materialistic, buying a ticket, packing a bag, taking your laptop, your MacBook, and jumping on a plane, landing, night in a hotel. It's a pretty scary proposition for what people have done. And that's exactly what I did, okay, to unravel all of this stuff. And as I'm unraveling it, hopefully I can pass it back down to you to maybe start triggering a few sort of seed thoughts in people's minds to think, shit, I'm going to go and do that, or whatever, okay? So just by making that little bit of money, a side hustle as people call it, I don't know whether it is a side hustle, I don't know whether it's as easy, it certainly isn't easy, nothing's easy, it's easy when you know, but there is no thing such as an overnight success. Most people it takes 15-20 years to arrive at that overnight success, But the key issue here is to do everything, okay, in equilibrium. So you want to concentrate on bringing in a little bit more money, and I'm not talking about multiple income streams here outside of your 1 to 2 income streams. Maybe you've got a full-time job, maybe you've got a part-time job, maybe you're struggling with getting employment at the moment, which is your priority. You must have some form of income coming in, and then replace that on the side with building systems and platforms, okay, and growing something. And of course this will take a little bit of investment, whether it's time or whether it's money or whether it's a combination of both. And then, start getting out over that doorstep, start the walking, start the health, start the diet, start the, the lifestyle change. Now, we all laugh at let's just quickly, and then the relationship things I've already gone through. Work in every area, yourself, those close to you, your friends and family, and then your work colleagues as well. Work to become that better person, because everyone that you're surrounded by needs your help, okay? Whatever you're doing today, I know, you're doing something. Life is just a combination of reaching up for help and actually, can't see my hand there, but reaching down and help and pulling people up. It's a push and pull mechanism, okay? So you are already in a position and you need to own and be grateful of where you are today, okay? Because, if you're in the Western world listening to me here, you are considerably well off. And maybe it's a question to say, do we actually have problems in the Western world, or do we have issues and challenges when you measure it against other people in the world who really truly do have some serious problems, okay? So be thankful, have a bit of gratitude for what you've got, and own what you've got. If you've got £30,000 worth of credit card debt, then own that, okay? Yes, it's me, I own that. It's my mistake, it's not a failure, right? It's just a mistake. Maybe it's a couple of issues that you've had or challenges along the way, but it can all be resolved and solved, okay? So own it, own where you currently are, and be thankful for what you've got, because you are in definitely in a better position than, 2/3, if not more, of the world as it is, okay? I'm going to wrap this up now, because this video is going to go on for a bit of period of time, and hopefully you understand where I'm going with this with regards to an introduction and a bit of a welcome message, okay? Just a bit about creating wealth together then. So at the time of making this video, if you go to creatingwealthtogether.com, it'll probably take you to the Facebook group, right? Now, if you arrive in there and you're the only person, you've had forewarning from me, go through some stuff, introduce yourself, and let's get this community built up. Now, I want to share with you my knowledge and what I know, okay? I do come from a military background. I do come from a managerial level, job last 6 years. I have been, working on my own, little bits here and there, but it's living proof that you don't need that much, okay, to be able to have happiness in your life, okay? Like you said, we're all different. If you want the big mansion, the flash cars and that, maybe that's tomorrow, okay? Maybe that's further down the line. But I think the more important thing to do is to establish this calmness and this happiness in your life, because it's just happening all around us. People struggling, people taking their own lives, suicide and all the rest of it, because pressures in life is just getting on top of them. And it needn't be that way, because you just need to find your happiness button and go and push it and go and get it, okay? You can have absolutely anything you want, but you can't have everything, okay? You've got to give something up. You've got to, if you want to be a successful ballet dancer, then it's probably not wise to be drinking, 3 bottles of wine a night, as a crude example. If you want to run a successful business, then it's probably not, a great thing if you're completely pissed out your head all the time, or you're stoned on weed and all the rest of it. Things just don't go hand in hand. If you want to move on in your life, then sometimes we have to downsize. Maybe you don't need that $40,000, $50,000 pound car sat on your driveway for 2/3 of the time, on a $20,000 salary, keeping up with the Joneses. Look at me, I've got a nice flash car, I've arrived, sort of thing, okay? So taking account of what you've got and how you've achieved it, and drawing a line firmly in the concrete, not the sand, sand can move, in the concrete, and then stepping over that line and becoming the new you, okay? The most powerful thing that you can arm yourself with for the remainder of these videos is a notebook and pencil, a notebook and pen. And sometimes we get so fixated on being online that we forget to have the ability to go back to the basics. And I want to take you back to the basics in subsequent videos, and we want to start talking about different topics and different things. Okay, I very much, I'm an inclusive leader. Okay, I have been wherever I've taught. I've always been inclusive. I will always ask you questions because I do not have all the answers, okay? But if we can tease the answers out, what's working best for you in the community, then people can plug into you. Now, it's like any group, okay, Creating Wealth Together, it's like any group. There is no spamming, all right? I am sick to the back teeth of these people, you know, of just send me $100 and tell me why, and I'll show you how you can make $3,000 in 24 hours on your phone. It's all bullshit, right? You're never going to hear any of that spammy crap from me, okay? We're going to be building together businesses, okay? Freedom businesses. Now, I'm not particularly interested in how, you know, wealthy you are already and you own a big corporate company and you've got a big office and you employ, you know, 3,000 people and you've got this. I'm not really particularly bothered about that because you might have to still go into your place of employment on a day-to-day basis. You may only be taking 2 weeks worth of holidays per year. So in essence, you still own a job. Yes, be it that it's paying you very well and it's paying your bills and it's giving you and affording you a big house, but we're kind of missing the point, and my point is quite loud and clear. Okay, we are going to be building freedom businesses. That ability to be able to create multiple income streams, okay, when you can just pack a bag up, jump on a plane and not have to worry about where your cash flow is coming in. Okay, obviously you're going to need a computer, you're going to need an internet, you're going to need to put in some work, all right? Okay, like I said, I've been Al Grant. I'm the founder of Creating Wealth Together. Please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're just getting up and running. This is the first video of many. Hopefully the next videos will be a little less in length, bite-sized chunks, action points that we can get involved in. And I truly, honestly, really, you know, want to get to know you. I want to interact with you. I want people that are, you know, traveling and doing stuff. I want, you know, let's meet up, let's share some ideas, let's have some fun, let's put a smile on our face, and great stuff. Okay, armed with your pen and pencil, I want you to answer these few questions. Okay, and then in the group, I want to hear your thoughts, please. So what does wealth mean to you? That's the first question. What does success mean to you? What would it mean, what would it take for you to be happy? Okay. What is your magic number? Okay, so if you're currently in a job at the moment and say taking home $3,000, let's just be $2,500 pounds per month, but it's never enough. Okay, you know this scenario. There's always more days in the month than there is money in the bank. You know, if you could double that, would that be what is your magic number? What is that number that you would ideally like to earn on a monthly basis? Okay. And have you put any thought, and how do you sort of intend achieving that? Now, we're not talking about multiple income streams here, going and getting another job, 2 jobs, 4 jobs, okay, and exchanging time for money. We're talking about systemizing, automating platforms, systems and platforms online that can bring you that type of money in. Okay, so there's your questions. What is wealth to you? What's success mean to you? What would it do to make you happy? Okay, what does freedom mean to you? I've probably forgotten 1 or 2. And what is your kind of magic number? We'll leave it at that. I'll meet you all in the group. Look forward to meeting you. I've been Al Grant, founder of Creating Wealth Together. Love and happiness. Speak soon.